So we move on. I've gotten the key words that I am looking at, which the two of them have mentioned. Now, which stakeholder group is arguably the largest?
Oh,
I didn't get that.
Can you just your financial? Right, end users.
End users. Why do you say end users and not the business constituency or any other stakeholder?
Yes, so basically anyone can be an end user. Anyone can be an end user. Even other stakeholders, probably the government, comprises of end users. Everyone, before becoming any other thing, is an end user.
Okay. Thank you very much. Levy, you've done a very good job. They've taken their studies very excellently. So thank you very much. We'll move on. So now, what does it mean
Thank you.
to engage in the internet governance ecosystem? And what picture can we see at the right-hand side of the slide? So that is your president. When he came to participate in the GhanaSIG fellowship, he volunteered as the rep. So that is him and the other rep for the GhanaSIG fellowship this year. I will come back to why I use this picture. So now, what does it really mean to engage in the ecosystem? The first thing is to engage in various...
Are you able to just get back a bit?
Say that again.
So we're having some internet disconnection on the main screen.
Okay.
Just give me like a minute.
Sure.
Recording in progress. In progress. In progress. In progress.
All right, I think you can proceed. We're back.
Okay. So what does it mean to engage in the internet governance ecosystem? What does it really mean if somebody says engage, engage, engage? I am an advocate for engagement and I make a lot of noise, even to the discomfort of a lot of people. So what it means several things, but I've just picked 5 out of that to explain to you and we discuss it. So the first one really means that you should attend meetings. And we'll come to know how you could identify those meetings that you are supposed to attend. Then join working groups. In ICANN, we call the committees, the little committees, working groups, and sometimes you hear the word working party. And you see WG or WP. So you have to join the working groups, and we'll be coming to some of the working groups that you should join. Then 3, take up leadership roles. The ecosystem is open to various roles as and when the need arises. So it is very important for you to take up some of these leadership roles when you see them. So it could be a leadership role in the working party or in the working groups, and it is essential. That is why when Levy came to Ghana and the question was posed, who would want to be the fellowship rep, quickly he volunteered and the whole team supported his volunteerism, and he and his co-rep actually did excellent work. Then participate in policy formulations. The ecosystem is full of policy formulations at various stages, and it is very important for you to participate. I will explain why it is very essential for you to participate in the policy formulations. Then 5, volunteer. If you don't volunteer, you will not get the needed experiences. And what does it really mean to volunteer? Volunteer to me, I'm not using an Oxford definition, I'm using my personal definition. Volunteering to me means that you should take up roles that are not necessarily paid. And these roles will actually give you an experience that nobody can take from you. So as young men and women or old people, we shouldn't always be looking out for opportunities that will give us money. There are opportunities that comes along in your volunteerism that even the money that you think you are looking out for, you cannot get it. So look out for opportunities to volunteer. So it is very important you look out for those opportunities. Then why the need to engage? So I've told you how to engage. Now, why the need to engage? And from my first question, I asked, arguably, who are the largest stakeholder group? And it is indeed the internet end users. Because whether you are a business constituency, you use the internet. Whether you are civil society, you use the internet. Academia, you use the internet. So all of us, we are end users at the first place before any other additional stakeholder group that we found ourselves in. One, why you have to engage. The internet is for everyone. The internet doesn't belong to ICANN. The internet doesn't belong to IGF. The internet doesn't belong to the president of Ghana or the president of Zambia. The internet belongs to all of us. Hence, whether you engage in it or not, it is for you. So it is better you engage now because it is for you. It's just like we are sharing a public food and you decided not to take part in it. Whether you participate in it or not, it is part of your food. And policies made will tend to impact on you. This is one of the most scariest one that most of us don't think about. No matter your engagement, whether you engage or not, any policy that is made will tend to affect you. It tend to impact on you. For instance, presently, for I think about a year now, we've been doing the domain transfer policy discussions. We've been reviewing it, and I'm an alternative from the ELAC to that working group. And some of the discussions that are ongoing, whether I participate in it or not, as long as it becomes a policy, it will affect you. So for instance, if in this discussion, the working party, we said that the minimum cost of registering a domain should be $50. You can just imagine what that will mean to you. Instead of the usual $9 that everybody can register a domain on, now we say it is $50. So that will now affect your cost of registering a domain. So also imagine when the one who holds the domain passes on that cost to you. You are sitting in Ghana, we say you're somewhere, and because the registrant has incurred a lot of cost, he has passed on that cost on to you. Two, I'm sure you use a lot of WhatsApp in Zambia. So let's say that because WhatsApp uses the internet, and there's now a policy that says before you use WhatsApp, we need to know your grandfather's name. We need to know your grandmother's name. We need to know your blood group. And once you don't belong to the blood group O, you are not going to use the internet. How will you feel? So whether you participate or not, any policy that is made will tend to affect you. So it is very important for you to participate. So don't sit on the fence. Let's all make our inputs into it. Then the next leaders. We are looking for the next leaders like Levy, who is making a lot of impact in Zambia. As I mentioned earlier, there are several opportunities for you to take up leadership positions. Leadership roles comes, and sometimes the people are not willing to take up. One interesting one that has been happening lately is the North American, no, I think it's the, I think North America region, I'm not too sure. One of the regions, for about 3 years now, we've been looking for a leader to represent in the NCUC, and nobody comes up to today for about 3 years now. So that role has been always vacant. So imagine we have somebody who knows about internet governance in that region and takes up this role. It is very important that we volunteer to take up some of these roles because we are looking for the next leaders who will lead in making sure that the right things are done. Nobody hijacks the internet thinking it is for them. Then we all have a constituency to belong to. No matter what you do, you have a constituency to belong to. So even if you think you don't do business online, first of all, you are an internet user. So you belong to the end user group. So based on this, you don't have any excuse to say why you wouldn't engage in the ecosystem. So it is important for us to engage. If you don't remember anything at all, remember that whether you engage or not, any policy made will tend to impact on you. Now, experience matters in the ecosystem. If you don't start engaging now, how will you get the necessary experience? So this is the Global Internet Governance, Global Internet Society's requirement for nomination committee members. And if you go through the last one, you can see the last one says, previous experience on a non-com or elections committee will be an advantage. So for instance, if ISOC Zambia is doing an election and they're looking for committee members to run the election, please volunteer. No matter your experience or your background, just volunteer. Once you meet the basic requirements, make sure you volunteer, because one experience in one volunteerism will be a requirement for the next one. So it is very important to volunteer to gain the experience, because the experience really matters in moving forward in the ecosystem. So here's my personal experience. Because I am into administration and human resource in the office, I have an experience in that aspect. So I saw that they were looking for GNSO standing selection committee members, and I used my experience in the office as an HR person with an HR background, and I used that experience to apply for the selection standing committee. And quickly I was chosen. Next is when Afrinic was looking for non-com members, they also required somebody who has an experience in selection in the internet governance ecosystem. So I used my experience in the standing selection committee to apply for the non-com, Afrinic non-com role, and I was selected. Then the Community Excellence Award. Community Excellence Award is an ICANN initiative where they identify one person who is doing marvelously well in the ecosystem, and they give that person an award for a recognition for doing well in the ecosystem. And they needed an experience, somebody with the experience in selection as well. So I used that one. And as you saw in the previous slide, previous experience on a non-com, this is for the ISO Global. Because when they were looking for their non-com members, they wanted somebody who has already gotten the non-com experience. And as you've seen here, I have the Afrinic non-com experience. So I was chosen for the ISO Global position, non-com position, which we interviewed those to apply for the board membership role. And it was a very good experience for me. And in all this, unless you engage, you wouldn't even know what really goes on in there. And you also get the chance to meet people from various backgrounds, and becomes part of your contacts that anything that you need, you can easily walk in there. For instance, now, because of my experience in the Afrinic, I know a lot of them, and I could easily just walk up to any of them when I need something. So it is very important. Then now we'll be looking at some of the constituencies that you ought to engage in. The first one is the Internet Governance Forum. And the Internet Governance Forum, we have quite a lot in almost all countries, and they call them the National Regional Initiative. Then the IGF, we have the national one, we have the regional one, we have the global one. How do you participate? You can propose a session and host a session when the call for proposals come. You can also volunteer for the local and the global IGF. When they're looking for rapporteurs, you can volunteer to be one of them. And initiate one of these if you don't know one in your region. Probably you have a chat with your friend who lives in another country. You can just have that discussion with the person. Do you have an IGF at your country? If they said no, quickly initiate that and have that discussion with the person, and they can reach out to Anja to initiate one of those initiatives there. So look out for some of these opportunities to engage. Then we have the IGF dynamic coalitions. So most people know only about the IGF, but they don't really know of the dynamic coalitions. We have a lot of the dynamic coalitions, which are subsets of the IGF, and each of them are autonomous. So they have their own rules and regulations and how they engage. So on the right side of the slide, you could see a list of those dynamic coalitions. And my slide is very interactive. So when you get it, you could click on the list of DC. You can click here, and it will take you to all the DCs that you need to join. So you can join. Most of them have requirements on how to join. Some of them you just join the mailing list. Some too, you have to write an email to them so that they will rectify, or they will accept your membership, then you become a member of the DCs. So look out for some of them. I'll recommend some. So you go through and see which one is very much of interest to you. We have, for instance, gender and internet governance. We have the dynamic coalitions on internet standards and security. I'll quickly go through the slide. When we have more time, we'll come back and see how we could join some of them. Now we look at ICANN, my home base. So ICANN is indeed a multi-stakeholder entity, and when we are discussing multi-stakeholder, ICANN is one of those that everybody mentions. It's one that easily comes to the lips of people because they have a very well-defined multi-stakeholder definitions and classifications where you can easily find your foot, whether you are into the business entity, whether you are a registry or a registrar, you have your constituency that you can easily belong to. And I will also urge you to look for one of them to join. And it is also very important to subscribe to the ICANN alert mailing list. So when you click on the list here, it takes you to the link that you have to join, to click and join. So just click on the list and it takes you there. Then at large, as we mentioned, at large, that is the home for the end users. So every end user belongs to at large automatically. So how do you belong? How do you participate? You can join your various ALSs within your locality. That is one of the ways, the ways to join. Then the at large is broken down into 5 regional structures. So each region, so the regional means the Africa, Europe, and the rest. So each region is classified as a region. So we've classified each of them into 5 regions. So all of them have their own rules and regulations. And the regional at-large structures, organizations, under them we have the at-large structures. And the at-large structures are made up of internet end user organizations. And you could join through being the organization or being an individual. So these are the regional organizations. We have the AFRALO, which is the African region. We have the Asian Australian, which is the APRALO. We have the European region. We have the Latin American region and the North America region. So depending on which side you belong to, and since most of you are in Africa, you have to join the AFRALO. So the region that I mentioned, the NCUC keeps looking for over 3 years now, is the Latin America region. So for 3 years now, they've not found anybody to be in the leadership for the Latin America in the NCUC. So how do you become an at-large member? So you join an accredited at-large structure. That is the first one. So each at-large structure have their own rules on rules of engagement. So how ISOC Zambia operates wouldn't be the same as EGIGFA, though we are all at-large structures, which in short we call the ALS. Another one is also you can accredit your organization to be an ALS, and the requirement is you should be a group of internet end users or an NGO, or you can become an individual member. So if you want to know more about ALS application, you can go here. The link is there. When you click on it, it takes you to where you can find more information on how ALS applications are done. On this note, I want to congratulate the Internet Society Zambia chapter for having become an ALS in AFRALO. Congratulations to Levy and his team for the great work done. So what does this really mean for Zambia? So being an ALS, having an ALS status means that you do not need to apply to AFRALO to become a member anymore. All you need to do is to tell them that you're a member of the ISOC Zambia, and that is all it takes. As long as you say you're a member of the ISOC Zambia, you are accepted to participate in any activity for the AFRALO. So having become an ALS status, having gotten the ALS status is really a very big achievement, and Levy needs to be congratulated for this achievement. Join the mailing list. So in the Afralo region, we have the mailing list. So I would suggest for you to join the mailing list. When you click on the link, it takes you to the portal where you can join the mailing list. And there are other at-large mailing lists that you could also join. When you click on the here, it takes you there. I want to go through all the slides. If you have more time, then you come back for the practicals. Then the working groups that you could join. So at-large has series of working groups, and some are open, some are not open. So on the slide, you can see the GNSO expedited development process phase 2. If you see there, you see that it is appointment, and we have observations. Then you come to the next one, you see appointment, observations. You come to the next one, you see appointment and observation. Then you see the IDN policy working group. If you could see there, it shows open. So it is open to anyone to join. So when you go to, so you see series of at-large working groups to join. When you click on the join, it takes you to the list of the working groups that you could join. And they all have ways of joining. Some you have to subscribe to the mailing list. Some you have to send an email to the mailing list and you'll be accepted to join. Okay. So the next one is how to join the NCSG. So NCSG is the stakeholder for individual and organization members who are non-commercial. So as long as you are a non-commercial, you can easily just join the NCSG. So how to join? You click on the join here and it takes you to that where to join. And the other constituencies that you could look at is the commercial stakeholder group, the registrar stakeholder groups, and the registry stakeholder groups. Then the UA, I will recommend the UA for you to join. And we have the technology working groups, we have the communications working group. So depending on your background, you can choose which working group to join within the UA. I will encourage you to join. So how do you join? You could click on the link here and it takes you to how to join. And it is important to join one of them to have an exposure on what goes on there. The ISOC special interest group is also one of the important ones that you should join. So aside joining your various ISOC chapters, we have the special interest groups, and most of them comes with their varied definitions and aims and objectives. So you, for instance, I'm part of the Internet Security Working Group, Internet Security Special Interest Group. So you can join any of them that is of interest to you. So just as in the IGF, we have the dynamic relations, in the ISOC, we also have the special interest groups. So to join the special interest group, this is what to do. You go to the Internet Society login portal, you go to the membership area, then you select special interest group, then you do the search. Once you do the search, they will pop up and you could just click, you see join chapter or SIG. So you just click that and it takes you to the membership. Then the regional internet registries. We have, just like in the ICANN that we have the 5 regions, we also have the regional internet registries. They are responsible for distributing the IP address in each region. And since Afrinic is ours, I will encourage you, or most of you who are interested, to join the Afrinic. The link here gives you, so you see, join the Afrinic mailing list. When you click on it, it takes you to how to join the Afrinic mailing list and to start engagement. So to join Afrinic, you just need to join the mailing list, and that makes you a member. So these are some of the things to do whilst engaging in while starting your engagement in the internet governance ecosystem. In every field, we have terms and words that could be confusing to you. So it is very important for you to familiarize yourself with some of these terms. So for instance, if I say WP, if I say ELAC and the rest, what does it really mean to you? So you need to familiarize. And when you come to here, it has a link to the acronyms. To decide on one or two constituencies that to join, don't take it as a World Cup and go and join thousands of them. Just join few. It is also important to keep learning because the ecosystem keeps revolving, and you need to also upgrade your skills and knowledge so that you could be able to mingle with your people. For instance, if a new condition has come and you are not familiar with it, how do you discuss it? Then when you join any meeting, take your time to familiarize before you start making mistakes. So for instance, if WP means something else to you and it means working party, and you think WP is what it means to you, and you start using that term in a meeting, you are off guard and you become a laughing stock. And always leave your presence in any meeting that you go. So when you join any of the ICANN or IGF or any of those meetings, put at least greetings from Zambia in the chat. That leaves your presence in that meeting. Then, as usual, when you are engaging in any new ecosystem, you actually get confused as to what is going on. So there, you have to get comfortable with the beginning. Don't be pushed away because what they are talking about is confusing to you. In GhanaSIG, we call it street confusion. So take your time to familiarize, and with time, it will make meaning to you. And keep getting engaged, volunteer. I've explained this already. And bear in mind, the ecosystem is huge and interconnected. So you have to actually build very good reputation for yourself. For instance, you could go to an IGF meeting and you meet somebody, then you misbehave towards the person. You go to an ISOC meeting, you go and meet the same person. You go to an ICANN meeting, you go and meet the same person. So please be very careful. The ecosystem is very interconnected. And do not look mean on anybody. Do not undermine anybody. Because somebody that you think might not be anything in ISOC is actually a big man in ICANN. Then finally, give back to the community, give back to the ecosystem. My question to you is, what is your immediate line of action after becoming a ZambiaSIG fellow? Are you going to procrastinate or you start now? I think your best bet would be to start now and do not procrastinate. Please start now and start your engagement. Thank you. Utimezi Ahulu, Sikomo Pambiri. Thank you.
Raymond, I feel betrayed. It's like you learned the language without me knowing, which is still correct. That's good. All right. I don't know. Are there any questions or comments that you'd like to raise with me? Any questions?
One of my mandates is not necessarily a question, but it's just a contribution.
Yeah, go on.
So I think the major takeaway from me is where you made an emphasis that we need to be volunteering in a number of spaces. So I think I agree to that, and seeing that our colleague here, Levi, has been been involved in such kind of activities, I think we are going to get in touch with him so that we should be able to get exposed to such kind of opportunities. We also look forward to interact with you when we come at such international events. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Please feel free. Voice clear? All right, Raymond, thank you so much for the presentation. I've actually already shared it, so I'm looking forward to more engagement with everyone. But at most, we'll still be in touch because I know we have some extra work to do together. But at most, thank you so much for allowing us to invade your time in the morning on that side.
Thank you very much for having me, and I look forward to seeing the engagement from your fellows. Thank you, and bye-bye from Ghana.
All right, thank you so much. Bye. All right. Okay, so we come to the end of this very segment, and I think we have to break up for lunch. But before we do that, let me just two things that I want to play. No, one thing I want to play, and then just want to get your thoughts on it after we play it. Right?
Can I say something?
Oh yeah, sure.
So finally, like much more things is
Thank you.